Hey, Jazzy crew. How you doing? How y'all doing out there? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Listen, it is the first Monday in March of 2024, y'all. It is March 4th, 2024. It is also International Women's History Month. And so for the entire month of March, I will be celebrating some phenomenal women. And my guest tonight is an example of one of those phenomenal women that I have the pleasure of speaking with this entire month. So if you are tuned in, you already know the rules, right? So the rules when you tune in is I definitely want you to wave at me, tell me hi, how you're doing. Like I waved at you, I waved to Jeremy, and I see Chef Jay is on. Thank you so much for tuning in on this fantastic Monday, because I think y'all already know that you're about to get some bomb information as it relates to business credit and all things finances, right? And so the rules are: wave to me, say, hey, Jazz. I just want you to tell me where you are watching from, where you are listening from, because you know that on this fantastic Monday, March 4th, you are in tune to the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. I am your host, Jasmar Jazz Bennett, mother, educational leader, and of course, I'm your host for this evening, and I am also an event host. Apparently, y'all, I can do a little karaoke as well. You know, we are in the streets sometimes. And so that's a part of the comeback as well, is doing what you love, because that's going to keep you vibrant and that's going to keep you very happy. And so listen, I want to read something for you. So if you guys are familiar with Trap Karaoke is a traveling show that originated, I think, in 2015. And so this show just encapsulates all of your signature hip hop songs. We give you a little R&B, and we also bring it back home with a little gospel with some inspiration. And you are in a room full of cousins, right? Cousins who are vibing at the same time, and you are enjoying yourself, right? And so the cool thing about it is when you enter the event space, if you've ever been to Trap Karaoke, you know that one of their signature gifts that they always give their patrons is a fan. And so on the fan are these creative sayings that are very, very much so hip with the culture, right? And so the fan that I chose to pick up, the saying says, now this resonated with me so well, but it says, you feel like doors are closing, whole time there are rooms being built just for you. So I thought that this was very apropos to start my show off with. Anytime you feel like life is closing in on you, opportunities are not coming your way the way that you want them to, you feel like this door is closing and that door is closing, sweet pea, stay the course, because the whole time you're getting ready for your comeback. And little do you know, you're worried about a door that's closing. Meanwhile, there are rooms being built for you. Sometimes life is preparing you to build your own room. So I just want to leave that with you at the top of my show. I do see that my special guest is ready to come on, but I want to give you some information. First and foremost, I want you to make sure that you are a part of my Jazzy crew. And in order to be a part of my Jazzy crew, you have to be doing some things. And one of those things is making sure that you are tuned in every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Instagram Live. You can catch it on Facebook Live as well. And you can also catch a replay on YouTube and on your favorite podcast platform. So I need for you to subscribe to my podcast on all of the above that I have mentioned. I need for you to partner with me. If you have a business, a service, a talent, and you would like to broadcast that on my podcast, let me know. All I need for you to do is send me an email at Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. That's Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. And I can give you all of the packages that you can choose from so that you can reach a larger audience to promote your business, to promote your skill, to promote your talent, your service. I would love for you to partner with me. And last but not least, you know that this show is also a show that can come to your event live. And you know that I also host events because I am an event host. And so if you are looking for that perfect dynamic host that can adapt to your specific crowd, that can adapt to your specific purpose for your special event, Look no further. I want you to book me. Same information. Just send me an email at JAZZIE Conversations with Jazz. That's Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. All right. So we're going to start the show. My special guest for tonight is someone that I've been watching for a while. She and I are sorors. And so she is my sorority sister. And so I've been watching her move and shake throughout the years. And I'm so proud of her. She's a wealth of knowledge. And I'm just so proud to have this opportunity, this space with her tonight. And so my special guest for tonight for episode 113, guys, 113 is Miss Tareka Coney. Tareka is a personal banker and she is also a professional business banker as well. And so I want you to keep your questions coming as we engage in this conversation. But how are you, Miss Coney? How you doing tonight, girl?
I'm well. I am well. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would not. You know what? I can't think of a better topic to kick off this International Women's History Month than to talk to a female who's very bossed up. I mean, we're just going to call a spade, who's very bossed up, who's very professional, and just knows the ins and outs of business and who can give us information from different lenses from your experiences. And so I just want my women to go into 2004 being solid, being money wise and business conscientious, and just knowing the ins and outs. And so tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I gave you a small introduction, but I know there's way more to you, Miss Coney. So let us know who you are, Tareka.
Hey, everyone. I am Tareka Coney. I'm known as a business credit expert in the financial industry. I'm currently right now a retail banker and small business banker right now in this space. I've been in the financial industry for over 7 years to help small businesses like yourself or to help reduce the death rate of small businesses to be able to grow, scale, and promote themselves to that next level that where they need to be at. And I just see, and I got it in this space because at one point in time, I didn't have good credit and I'm always curious of how to do things and getting resources and stuff. So that's how I got into this space to be like, it has to be a way that minorities that be able to get access to funding when sometimes that we don't have that access to funding, and it makes it very hard for us to get funding for our business. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to answer any questions that you have, and I'm excited to have this conversation because it's very much is very well, it is needed. It's needed in our community very bad right now.
It is. And listen, first and foremost, we tell us where you're from. Where are you from, Tareka?
I am from Lakeland, Florida. Well, I'm originally from a little small town, country town called Wauchula, Florida, but I'm a migrant of Lakeland, Florida. Due to the hurricane, I think in 2004, my mom moved
Yes.
me to Lakeland, and I kind of like planted here in Lakeland since 2007.
Listen, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just me being, at Trap Karaoke and just Polk County just represented. So it's like no matter what platform I'm on right now, whether it's with my business, with my school, with whatever industry, it's like, where are you from? Are you from Polk County? It's like I am on such a high with Polk County right
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
I love it. Like I feel that we are in the epicenter. Like we are in Central Florida as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the opportunities that are coming here. And I really want us to support the opportunities that are coming here. And so we have a lot of business bays in here. We have a lot of business people who are doing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So like I pay attention to like our CRAs in our cities. I pay attention to oh my goodness, what is it? The different chambers that
Mm-hmm.
we have in our cities, because if you are a new business, it is so
Mm-hmm.
incredibly important. It's vital to your business that you join your local chamber so that
Mm-hmm.
you can make connections and so that you
Mm-hmm.
can network and you can know what's going on in your city. And
Mm-hmm.
so, before we get to that point, I know that there are several people who are on the cusp of starting a business,
Mhm.
because on one hand, we see it as being very glamorous. But
Mhm.
then on the other hand, you get people who will tell you the nitty gritty that if you are not disciplined, if you're not able to accept criticism or failure, and know that everything is on you, then it's not necessarily in your best interest to start your
Mhm.
business. But we're going to go on the end of it being glorified, because we know that women entrepreneurs, especially African American
Mhm.
female entrepreneurs, are the fastest growing demographic when it comes to starting new small businesses.
Mhm.
But I did hear you say that you at one time went through a struggle with your credit. So talk to me
Mhm.
about, what did that feel like when you struggled with having bad credit?
Well, I always tell people when it comes to credit, credit determines where you're going to live, where you're going to go, where your kids are going to go to school, what kind of car you're going to drive. A three-digit number determines really your lifestyle of how you're going to be able to grow or how you're going to live or finance your future. A lot of people don't realize how important that three-digit number. It tells a story about where you're going to go. It tells that stories. It tells me as a banker, we put this into banking also. It tells me as a banker, can you pay your bills? Are you financially savvy? It tells me that type of story about you when it comes to building your credit and things like that. So with my own personal struggles, when I didn't understand credit, I didn't know anything about credit. Being 20 something years old, I just said to myself, you know what? I was in a very abusive marriage for about not for at that time it was about 5 or 6 years, and I just knew, I was like, I gotta leave this, and the only way that I could get out was I needed to get my own apartment, because that was something that finances was held over my head. Fix my credit. Once I was able to get out of that situation, I said I would never go back. I would never allow credit determine my lifestyle and what I do. I've had highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows when it comes to that, because that's all about the journey. But I always say, like, I have to maintain. Let me pay my bills. Man, I know and I understand that paying bills is just not the only thing that's going to get you good credit. You have to have a
Right.
mixture of things, the whole complete, it's a whole complete FICO pie chart that goes into those numbers of how you're supposed to manage your credit.
So what's the highest credit score that you can have? Because you know that I had a previous guest on, and she gave a lot of great information in terms of credit, and there were a lot of people that were shocked that you could go over a 850 credit score. So what's the highest you can go with a credit score?
You can actually go, you technically you can't go over an 850 credit score, but okay, let me how do I say this? You can't go over an 850 credit score in the American system, but the credit score does go beyond that. The reason why we got the number 850 is because that was the medium range that most Americans would fall or cap at. So that's how we got the 850 credit score as being the American standard. But it actually goes further do that. It's like 900 and 1,000, but they kind of broke it at the 850 just to say, hey, this is where a certain amount of Americans fall. This is going to be the 850 score of 850 score. So it has its truths to it, but we just use that as a capitalizing standard of, oh, you have good credit if you have an 850 credit score. But
So
I
listen,
also
but go ahead.
but I also saw the caveat too that having an 850 score is not as good as people think. In banking, I deny people a lot of times with 850 credit scores.
Look, I'm
A
gonna tell
640.
you right now, I can't even fathom that. But you said you do what?
I
You
deny
got to explain that.
I deny people with 740s, 850 credit scores because they think that that's the only thing. We as a banker, we're not looking at your credit. Like I said, your credit tells your story, but your credit profile tells me what I need to know. My credit profile says that, hey, American Express gave you a $50,000 credit card and you made all those payments on time. Your credit profile tells me that, hey, you have a mortgage of $500,000 and you haven't missed a payment. So I know if I lend you this money, you're going to do good by it because I see your habits. An 850 credit score can be one trade line on your credit report that somebody adds you to their as an authorized user. That doesn't tell me anything. That doesn't show me that you have any income or anything. That doesn't show me your revenue. That doesn't show me any retained earnings for you. It doesn't show me anything. So that's why I tell people you can't just focus on a credit score. A 660, a 680 will get you the same thing that a 700 and 850 credit score will get you.
So before you answer this particular question, because you've sort of kind of answered it, those of you who are watching right now, I want you to drop what you consider to be a good credit score, because we had Boss Fest that was tuned in, Brit was tuned in, the official girl was tuned in. So if you are watching and you are being interactive with us, let me know what you consider to be like that average credit score where you're like, okay, I feel like if I try to go and get a car, if I try to go and get a home, I feel like if I at least have this credit score, then I'll be okay. I put 750 in the chat. Those of you who are watching and you are listening, and we'll continue the conversation, but I want you to tell me what you feel like that good credit score is. If I wanted to go and get such and such, I should be okay here. So, Tareka, let us know what that number is. And I know you say that it's just not based off of a number, but if you're someone that has bad credit right now, and let's just say you can't get a decent rate on your car loan, you can't get a decent mortgage rate, what is that kind of magical number where your profile starts to look promising?
At least a 660. A 660
660
to a 660 to a 680 is a great spot. That means you don't have perfect credit, but you have good credit, and you working in there. So anybody with a 680, 660, 680 and higher, you're gonna get approved. You're gonna get approved. Especially with aggressive lenders, you're gonna get approved for things. So I think anything
So I
with a
see that.
660, 680.
Thank you for answering that.
Mm-hmm.
I see that Regina, hey Regina, has tuned in, and she is a realtor, and so she helps her clients to qualify for various mortgages. And so
Mm-hmm.
I vividly remember. Now this is the saddest thing on the planet, and it is so
Mm-hmm.
frustrating. I was in a great career. But my credit was not where I wanted it to be, at a particular time. And so it's like the debt, because what she put is where I'm leaning with, is the debt. Your debt rate, your debt to income ratio is
Mm-hmm.
what really, really, really takes a toll on lenders
Mm-hmm.
giving you money for things, because it's like I wanted to refinance my home so that I could renovate, because I wanted to renovate at that particular time, because I didn't really, because my townhome was kind of sentimental to me because I got it right after I graduated from college. And so I'm like, here I am with a great job, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that I cannot do what I want to do with my own property? Like, it was just so frustrating. And I just remember, just like, my God, like, I'm in a good career, but you mean to tell me I'm going to have to go and pay off this entire credit card bill? I'm going to have to go and pay off all of these medical bills. It was so frustrating. And I remember just feeling like I was in a rat race.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, come on, it just should
Mm-hmm.
not be this hard. And then on top of that, because I want to talk to you, Miss Banker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a bank that I have been a loyal client to. I've gotten all of my car loans through. And it's like, when it came to things like refinancing or having a home line, a home equity line of
Only line
credit,
of
it was
credit.
like pulling teeth to have them even approve anything. And I just felt so helpless. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like, why am I even banking with you guys? Like, I've been banking with you guys ever since I became a teacher, and I'm an administrator at this particular time. And so it was just very frustrating. And so when you see cases like that, like, you see people who have the potential, like, I wonder, are there sometimes leniencies in terms of what will be approved and what will not? Because I had a lot of people at that time telling me, well, they will lend to whoever they want to lend to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you looked different, they would. So is that not true, or is it?
I can say in some cases it may be something. But honestly, I don't think that at all. Being in banking, I see both sides of the of the swing, and I see it. And I think this is why I got into banking, is because to debunk some of those myths. When if you give me a phone call right now and say, "Hey, Tareka, I want to apply for a HELOC loan," I am going to go through that application process with you. I'm going to ask you all the questions. It's not up to me, it's up to underwriting to be able to decide if you're going to get that loan or not. Now, underwriting doesn't know your face, your color, your skin, or anything like that. They don't know anything about you at all. So those are the people that are going to say yay or nay based off of the information that you provide. They pull public records. They pull your credit reports and look at your debt to income ratio. They pull all those things. And I think where we go wrong at, and when we sometimes think it's racial discrimination, in some cases it is. In some cases, you have some people that say, "Hey, I put your application in, you got denied, you got denied." There's no federal regulations that tell a banker that they have to contact you like the FCRA. With the FCRA, with your credit, you get an adverse action. So they have to tell you those things, but not that in sometimes in the banking world, they don't have to tell that because you're not a benefit for them. You have to remember bankers are sales agents also. So with them being sales agents, they want to get you that loan because they want to get to a president's circle. They want to have their name. So I always go out of my way. It just depends on who you bank with and who's your banker. This is always why I say is build a relationship with your banker, because when underwriting comes back and say this, and that, I can go back and say, no, they have this. Let me ask her for this. Let me see, hold up, press your button. Let me take these extra steps for my client. So that goes all into play. And yes, I think we don't understand is we be excited to get the home, and it's the congratulations and look at you, girl, and all that. But people don't tell you, people don't teach us that you got to still keep good credit to pull out the money, the equity from your home. As a home is a home can help you start a business. A
Right.
home can like really catapult you. But if you don't keep your credit good, a lot of people get the home, and right after they get the home, they tank their credit. Now you cannot
Mm.
pull out that money from that account, because what they're going to do is pull that information all over again. They're pulling that information for you. They're wanting to see, hey, what do you have to pay with? Because you remember your mortgage, if you're doing a HELOC loan, a lot of people don't understand is when you're doing a HELOC loan, you have your mortgage, then you have a second lien holder that in the event that you don't pay, then at that time they will proceed. So they're banking on you to pay, and they're giving you 30 years to pay it. It depends on where you go. It's typically a 10-year interest, 20-year principal and interest on there, which is a lot better than maxing out credit cards. I used to be at one point and be like, no, don't get loans, don't do this, don't do that. But when I learned how the banking system works, sometimes loans are a better product than you getting a credit card that is at a 25, 22. Right now it's at a 29% interest rate, where you can go pull out a HELOC loan or do a HE loan that where Wall Street, because what they base the rates off is what Wall Street Journal is typically with my bank. I don't know all banks, but typically what they do is base it off whatever Wall Street Journal is. Wall Street Journal is, I think it's 8.25 right now. I haven't checked it lately, but 8.25 is your starting interest rate. And then on top of that, that's where your credit comes into place to say, hey, if your credit is between the 680 to 700, you're going to do 1.2% added on to that. If it's your credit 800, maybe you get a 0.5% added on to that 8.25, which gets you at least that 9%, that 10% that you're going to be paying in those interest rates. So it is sometimes I see it, but a lot of times is we just don't have our paperwork together. We don't have our things together. We don't have our finances together. So it plays into if you're going to get approved or not. Sometimes your banker may not want to go the extra mile because it may not be beneficial to them. And they just may say, oh, deny, and not even call you.
Someone said, what is the home loan rate right now?
Last time I checked, whatever the Wall Street Journal is typically it's 8.25. Now every lender is different. This is how with banking systems, but typically we kind of run all off the same system. But home rates may be different because you may get a special. So it may be a new construction home where you may get a 3.9% if you fall under these guidelines and put this much down and stuff like that. So every lender, the great thing about home loans that I like, you can go to a different lender. You don't have to have that lender. You can refinance with somebody else. And that's what I like about home loans is you can search around. You don't like how this lender is doing, you
Yeah.
can find another lender.
When do you refinance? Because like, what time is too soon to refinance?
Typically, you want to refinance a year after you're in your home. Right now, if you purchase your home, like I purchased my home, well, it was given to me. And it was, I think, 2021 when I redid the loan that the house was given to me because it was still wasn't paid off. So I had to put it in my name. So with that purchase, I had I think a 2.9% when I did my home in 2021, right before the pandemic really took off. I think it was 2020 to 2021, had a 2.9%. I will be a fool to go do a HELOC loan or anything where my percentage is going to go to 10 to
Right.
11%. So a lot of times it just depends on your financial situation. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense, okay, I need this loan. If I have $100,000 or $200,000 equity in my home, that makes sense. I can pull it out and I'll just eat the cost of it. But me personally, I'm waiting to like see if rates or at least dropped a little bit so
Right.
that I can pull out some equity. But it wouldn't be smart in my situation to pull it out when I did it with a 2.9 interest rate.
And that's very true. I'm glad somebody asked that question. I was sitting and I was eating breakfast at Waffle House, and like if I'm sitting at the bar or whatever, like I will always have somebody that engages in a conversation, and so I was kind of eavesdropping
Mm-hmm.
at the person beside me, their conversation, and they were just talking about I can't remember what he said, but it's something that just stuck out to me, and I said, so, do you know any good contractors, around? I said, you sound like you're in the home industry, or building industry. And I just stated, do you know any great contractors around, or who do you use as your contractor? And he's like, I'm the contractor. And we started a conversation, and he was telling me about him flipping homes and how he helped someone to invest their money into flipping homes. And so I was just congratulating him, and I was like, yeah, because that kind of seems like the route to go to build
Mm-hmm.
financial, a financial legacy of financial wealth and all
Mm-hmm.
those good things. And he said, yeah, he said, but the sad part is you will do all of these refurbishings and nobody qualifies to get into them. And he was
Yeah.
like, so that's what I'm struggling with. So I was glad when someone asked, what's the average mortgage rate? So it just, again, it just still depends on the product
Mm-hmm.
inventory of a home that you
Mm-hmm.
decide to purchase. And you still have to be careful at this time. That's why I personally haven't like jumped ship, because for me it doesn't quite make sense as of
Mm-hmm.
yet. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to be very careful. And it's like, yeah, you can qualify for things, but I'm not one of these people that just because I qualify for it, I'm just going to go jump and do it. And it's just
Absolutely.
like, I don't like the prices of these homes
Mm-hmm.
right now. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm just being real stubborn about it. It's like it just, if it's not my dream home, and if I can't walk out of my house and walk at least 10 feet and not be on my neighbor's property,
Right.
I just don't think it's worth it. Like,
Right.
I just literally don't think it's worth it. So like, those are great questions. Thank you for those of you who are asking those questions. I want to get into you,
Mm-hmm.
Tareka, because I heard how you started off, and you stated that you got into banking because you were in a not so great marriage and
Mm-hmm.
you needed to position yourself so that you can move forward,
Mm-hmm.
and to make your own life for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And I've been watching you, I've been following you, and I see that, you've been able to have a thriving career
Mm-hmm.
in the banking industry and in the financial industry. Like, you are meeting people, some of the people that we see who are doing women's empowerment, or those who are doing financial symposiums in Atlanta, I would say in the Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
who's who click. Like you've been able to be in those spaces. So walk us through your journey. Like how did you go from this to that?
Oh, that is a great question. Like I said, I started because I was in a abusive relationship, abusive marriage. I started there. I knew I wanted to leave and get out. I said I needed to fix my credit. I got my credit. I got me and my daughter a two-bedroom little small condo. And
How did you get your credit?
I,
How did you get your credit? Because I know a lot of people are like, girl, how did you do it?
I started fixing my credit. I started learning about credit. I used to be great friends with this great woman called Arnita Johnson. I remember I took my child support check. I had just got a child support check and it was $250. I enrolled in her program. And then after that, when my credit just shot up. And then I was like, you know what? This is good. Then I started working on it more, working on it myself. I said, I know I can do this. I got into a place. That's when me and my ex-husband departed at that time. And when he just left me out of nowhere, I was like, you know what? I can either sit here and cry or I can do something about it. I made a $25 flyer and I was doing coaching for people that in the credit industry for $25 and mentoring. I remember I would sit at my board and write down, hey, I need to make this amount of money
Yeah.
to be able to sustain. At that time, I was still working in corporate America and I was teaching, but I knew teaching is not where I wanted to be at all. So then I said I had a bad experience at one school, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to do this, and I really want my career in teaching. So I started working for Kelly Services doing substitute teaching because
Mhm.
I wanted to figure out like where do I really fit in
Yeah.
and into this groove of things. Like where do I want to teach? Because I've always taught middle school. So I was like, okay, let me maybe try kindergarten. So I tried kindergarten the first day with Kelly Services. I was banned from the school for the simple fact I had to report a child
Yeah.
sexual case. I couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? This is
Yeah.
not for me. They told me never to show back up. I was like, deuces, you never have to hear from me again.
Right.
And I said, I knew at that point that teaching was not for me. Then I
Yeah.
went on to be a professor. I was teaching at Ultimate Medical Academy. I was teaching biology and English. I know my English may be poor, but when it comes to writing a paper, a dissertation, a thesis, your girl can write some stuff. And she has
Yes.
her grammar. I may write a little bit fast on Facebook, but your girl can do it. And I love me some science. So I started there. The pandemic, before the kind of while I was teaching, I was doing entrepreneurship. On the side of that. So when I fully walked away, was the pandemic hit in 2020 or 2021. I fully walked away from being a professor and teaching and fully focused on my job full time. When that happened is when everything just catapulted for me. I started putting money into my business. I started investing in my business. I started meeting people. I started being genuine with people. I started getting into rooms where people said that I never could thought I could get into rooms. I've spoken on some of the biggest stages that there could be out, sometimes being the only Black female speaking on that. I've spoken at Bronner Brothers. I've spoken at all these big places that I don't think that many people have spoken at, that I have been able to accomplish that. So during that whole time was just building my business. I done made up to $500,000 in my business. I was just thriving. I was at the peak of my career. Boom, 2022, my mom passes. My mom
Mhm.
passes in the middle of the rise. The middle of the
Yeah.
rise, my mom passed from COVID and I had to watch her practically die,
Wow.
watch her pass away. When I tell you my mom was my driving force, that was keeping me and everything together because she didn't work. I was taking care of everything for her, and she was a grandmother. So I provided her that lifestyle. After that, I tell you, I think a week or two after that, I literally shut everything down. I shut everything down. I moved away. I bought a house in Atlanta, almost a $500,000 house in Atlanta. And I was like, I just got away. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't go by Lakeland Regional Hospital. I couldn't do anything at all. I literally let everything go. When I say I hit rock bottom, I hit rock bottom because I just didn't have the passion in me anymore, because my passion was seeing my mother and
Yeah.
my daughter and my sister thrive. They could call me, be like, put it on Tareka's credit card. I'd be like, whatever, what are y'all doing? Whatever. That's what they did. And that was my passion that led me this into this. And then I just got demotivated. I got really, really demotivated after that point, after I've been at the high of my career. And I tell people
Yeah.
I had to choose peace.
Yeah.
I had to choose
Yeah.
peace at that time, because these in being in business and being an entrepreneur, these people will take you to an early grave if you allow them to. If you allow the comments, the negative thoughts and stuff to get into it with you, they will take you to an early grave. And that
Right.
was one thing that I said, hey, I need to step back. I need to heal within myself. I need to get back to what I need to do in order for me to be a better person, and not to be that person that is broken. So once I was able to do that, I was able to get back into corporate America. My first 6 months of being in corporate America, I almost made president circle, because I already knew the ropes. I already was doing this in my business, so I already knew that how to do this in corporate America. And that's how I kind of got in corporate America. And that's where I love being in corporate America and working in banking, and being in Atlanta. You can see a lot of Black bankers. It's nothing coming. I remember I went to an event and I was like, wait, am I at the right event? I've never seen so many people of color
And it's
being a
so
banker. And
empowering.
it's
It's so
inspired.
empowering.
It's oh my gosh, it was like, oh my gosh, your manager Black, your regional Black. And then I hear some of the things that said, oh, I would never have a Black manager or a Black woman as a manager. I'm like, a Black woman the one who got me a position that I wasn't even qualified for, and she was only 28 years old, and I'm here almost about 35. I said but the thing about I had to go into that place. I don't know if this works for other people. I had to go into that mindset is, Tareka,
Yeah.
even though you know everything, you don't know everything. You need to dumb it down a little bit and allow somebody to teach you the ropes, even though you think you know everything, and play the game that they play. I played that game, and I got promoted within 6 to 7 months because this Black woman did this for me. So that's how I kind of started my career in banking. I was already working in banking. I worked at Wells Fargo as a teller. I think in like 2015, I worked there for a little bit. And then now I'm into banking. I'm a personal banker. I'm a retail banker, business banker for small business. And what I do is I help small business to be able to reduce the debt rate of their business. I know the ropes that they're going to ask them. And that's why I'm trying to push this financial literacy on so many small businesses, to say, when you're
Yeah.
going in there and talking to a banker, you need to know the difference of what you're saying. Do you know if you're going to be talking about your stated income or required income? Because a lot of times we get in there and we over talk ourselves. Because
Yes.
if you want to borrow money, if you say less than a certain amount, you don't have to provide any financials. They're going to go off of what you say. But we get in there and talking, oh, I'm a boss. It's about, like, no, you got to be like, let them guide the conversation, but also know what they're going to ask. That's why I say build that relationship with that banker. The bank wants to give you money. They want, because we have to meet certain demands, or we won't get promoted, or we won't get to the level that we need to be in our banking career, because we're not helping people in the community. The bank that I work for currently right now is a community driven bank. If you go look in your bank right now, it's going to have a community reinvestment act. With that community reinvestment act is they have funds allotted every year to nonprofits to give money away to nonprofits every year. With inside the banks, they have resource groups that chooses businesses for grants. Quick story about that. I went out on a limb for a company for a grant. You know how embarrassing that was for the president to come back to me and say this person do not have none of their stuff together.
Oh my
I could
gosh.
have went to the freaking floor. When I say I could have went to the floor, I was like, I literally stuck my. You said that you had this, and that before you applied. I couldn't do nothing, and it was just like a learning lesson to say.
Yeah.
That's why my motto is get your business ish together, because if you focus on the paperwork of your business, everything else is going to fall in. Because if, as a business owner, if you have your profit and loss statements, if you have your financial statements, if you have your taxes, 2 years of taxes, if you have all these things, walking into the bank is just the easy part.
Yeah.
That's the easy part, because you already have the documentation in the paperwork that you're going to need for your business. And I think this is why I'm trying, and I'm thankful to be on your platform, is because I'm trying to get this message out to more small businesses and people that are trying to get into this space, to let them know that it is people like me that are fighting for them. I tell people, my clients all the time, bring your credit report in. We'll sit down and we'll go through it together. Do they do it? No, they don't, because that's a conversation a lot of people don't want to have about finances. We
Yeah.
as minorities have to just step up to the plate and say, hey, let's get this person on our platforms and say, let's talk about business banking, because I have the inside of what's going to go on. Let's get this person to help these small businesses. But these small businesses have to be able to help themselves and getting their stuff together.
Yeah.
Have to be able to do that.
They do. Listen, all you have to do is say the word. Do we need to have an event? Do we need to have a forum
Listen,
here in Polk County?
I,
Like, we do. We need you. We need you.
I,
We need you to be here. Like, the one thing that I say, like, whatever industry somebody is in, like, once you learn it and once you know the ins and outs of it, and you're able to share that with people, how else do you think our community is going to grow? We are only going to grow if we give back the information that we have learned. And so it is so refreshing, and it's so great to hear you say that that is actually what you are trying to do. That's your purpose right now with what you're trying to do, because I know that there are some people who need
yes.
it. I know that there are some people who want it. And yeah, being vulnerable, just like you stated, you had to be vulnerable in your state in order to elevate yourself. And so we don't know everything. And, you know, I this is a topic for me that I'm so interested in, because when I do come out swinging with my business, I want it to thrive. I don't want to just be able to say I have a business and it just sit there. Like, I literally want to know how, first of all, to get the business, you know, the way that I want it set up, the funding for it. But then if you're a business owner, you want your business to grow and you want it to thrive. I see someone stated, what bank do you work at, Tareka? And then she said, let's do it. I know Regina's like ready to do it. We do need an event. Like, we really do. Like, I definitely, I will help you put that thing on. I'll moderate it if you want to, but we, like, in my heart of hearts, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm still working on this, like, just giving you your flowers, because the past guest that I had on, she can walk it and she can talk it. Like, she's my classmate, and she's just always been financially responsible. And a lot of us were not. Like, she had responsibilities, like, at a younger age. Like, she was about that life, like, in terms of being self-sufficient, way before a lot of us were. And I respect her so much. And I still appreciate her for giving the information that she did on my podcast on that episode. I looked at you, and I'm just going to tell you, I'll give you your flowers, but I'll tell you what the folks are saying about you. Let me tell you what the folks are saying about you. What is
Say that again.
Sora, come here. Let me tell you what these folks be saying about you. So listen. So I saw you when your line crossed, but I didn't know you personally. And so I ended up taking a trip with the Risk Club with my son, and this may have been maybe 3 years ago. And so we went on this trip, and so I noticed that I didn't know she was your sister, but I noticed that your sister and my sparking up a conversation. And so as a mother, like, we're just walking, and I'm like, I'm just let them kids be kids. And I'm looking back, and then one of the chaperones is like, oh no, he's good, because she comes from good people. Like, her people are good. Like, she's set or whatever. And so then it was like, then we found out we had another connection, because she went to the school that I currently serve at. And so she's the sweetest young lady. most respectable young lady, and
Mm-hmm.
she carries herself so well. And then it's like when you would talk about her, when you would post her, and then discovering that your mom had passed and that
Mm-hmm.
you basically stood in the gap there, like you were a
Mm-hmm.
mother, you're in your own right, but
Mm-hmm.
then now you had to take care of your sister, and you were
Mm-hmm.
doing it so well, and that's all I heard about you. So
Yeah.
it has never been anything bad. What it's been is that, yeah, she's bad, or yeah, she knows her stuff.
Uh-huh.
She's very smart, and just you being, so young, and you
Mm-hmm.
accepting the responsibility that you had to accept,
Mm-hmm.
under such a great tragedy. Like, I have always been like drawn to your story, and I'm like, yeah, she seems like the real deal. And so I wanted to get you on this platform
Mm-hmm.
because you are living it, you're breathing it. And I can tell, like, when you comment on things or when you try to give people information, I see that there's passion there. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not just all talk. It's not just, oh, let's show up at this event and let's wear our Gucci belts, our Gucci shoes,
Mm-hmm.
our Gucci purse,
Mm-hmm.
and let's get into our
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
fancy cars.
Mm-hmm.
You've earned those things. They're
Mm-hmm.
not rented or anything
Right.
like that, or anything like that. But it's like, but it's
It's definitely not. It's definitely. And people be like, Teresa, well, what happened to your Lexus and everything? I was like, it's in my garage. I drive my Tahoe because I'm a mom, and my kids are bad. Well, not bad, but they junk up my car. You're not getting in my luxury vehicle. We drive that one, and it sits in my garage. And I'm like, I
right.
am a regular. And you know what? And the reason why I say that, because I never wanted the persona of this fake persona that the Gucci this da, 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 da. I never wanted that.
Yeah.
I do have nice things, and I love wearing nice designer things, but I never wanted someone to be a follower of me because of my lifestyle that I live. I am the same person that you are. I'm the same person that drive an average car that you are, that pays my bill just like you. Yes, I'm able to do extra things because I have become financially conscious, and I told myself I would never get back in that space again. I want to be as just typical as you. I don't want you to see me and be like, oh, starstruck that you can't talk to me. No, let's have this conversation so that I can help you get to where you need to be, because this is the information that is going to help your business. And I'm very passionate about helping small businesses because you don't run across a lot of people in our industry that are giving back, that are giving back to our community to say, hey, let me help you get to where you at. If you only listen, if you only listen to what I say, I promise you, you can walk into a bank right now and be like, they're gonna be like, well, where you got this information from? How do you know all this stuff? Because I'm building out your portfolio for me. That is the reason why I finally got my trademark done for my organization, the Women's Entrepreneurial Factory. I actually got sued by entrepreneur.com. I was in a legal battle with them because I had
Wow.
entrepreneur in my name. I was one of the first Black females to get a partnership with Disney World to take 25 women behind the scene. When Entrepreneur magazine saw that I was doing the great things in the community, they tried to sue me. They tried to sue me and they tried to silence me, but it wasn't happening. To the end of, they wanted to purchase my name, purchase my domain, and purchase everything because I had came up with something that was very innovative. But I wasn't married to entrepreneur, so I just changed it to Women Entrepreneurial Factor. After a 4-year battle, we finally got the trademark with my attorney, so we are good to go. So now you're going to see me out here pumping these events out to the people in the community. This is why I need the community help with things. I know a lot of people be like, I don't want to put Tareka on the platform. I don't want to. I'd be like, I don't even care. I don't even care, because what I'm starting going to start doing is start doing my own things, making sure that these women get this information that want to be business owners, because it's easy to attain. If you will understand, a lot of stuff out here is free, free
Yeah.
99. But a lot of times people don't want to pay to invest. They don't want to invest to go to an event. They don't want to go to these things that are out here that is provided for them, because they look at the sticker on there. Who wants to teach you for free? Nobody wants to teach you for free at all. And I'm not stepping out anywhere without a fee unless I want to do it. I turned down a lot of speaking engagements because I just
Yeah.
don't feel like we are in alignment of what I have to go going on. So this is the reason why I want to get out here in our community and teach our Black and brown folks. And I have a passion for minorities because we are at the bottom of the barrel. And I saw something, to wrap this up. I saw something on Fearless Fun where I think Ariane Simone, she's going through
Listen,
it with the
I love her.
I
Oh, I love
I
me some
love her
Arian Simone.
too. I
Yes.
love her. I love her. I see where she's made a quote that says the funding for Black women are going down tremendously because of what they're doing in the community, not in the community, but what they're doing, but saying that it's only targeting Black women. But little do we know, if we don't catch on to this, Black women, Black men, they're Black minorities are not going to get any access to any of this money that is out here for us because they
For
refuse
free.
to for free, because they refuse to listen, and they refuse to get out here and learn the information that is provided with them without saying, hey, let me take this information and go start my own business. No, take this information and catapult your own business so that you can get to that next level, so that you can get that funding for your business. And that's all I have to
Right.
say.
Listen, we need you. We need to set up an event that because you already know, like within our different chapters, like you already know that we have, a financial pledge that we are trying to uplift one
Well,
another, through fun.
and when you said that, I almost didn't pay because financially, I'm finishing a house, and I financially said that I can't do it, and I said that I wasn't going to do it because I know it's a little bit of money, but financially, I'm finished building on this house, and I need to get that done before I can make any other moves. I don't care if it's $100, $200, that all needs to go to that house so that I don't have to work as hard that I'm working now to do anything, because now I have all my rental income. And that's the mindset that I had to get
Yeah.
into. I had to stop going and doing these things and going out and just sit my tail down and say, hey, you need to finish this project that you started so that you can have that residual income. That's what you needed to do.
Yeah. Very smart. Very smart. Listen, I'm behind you. You are somebody that I would feel comfortable sharing financials with. You know your stuff. You're passionate about it. And I'm just telling you, like, I've talked to a lot of people, and it's just like I would not give them information because I just didn't feel, I don't know. I just didn't feel that security. But, when it's somebody that's speaking passionately like you have people who are commenting saying, I've been following T since Sabrina introduced her. Like, you have people who are rocking with you, who are in your circle. You're speaking the language. You know the people that you're speaking, those names that I look up to and that I respect. And so, I know that this particular interview is going to draw a lot of people to you, and I love that. I love that for you. Like, I love that for us. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to someone who knows the ropes, because Tareka definitely knows her stuff, and I don't want the woman who's not quite positioned yet to be afraid to approach someone like you, because the perfect thing about this podcast is that you have been, vulnerable. You have told us that you weren't always at this previed status of knowing what you know. You had to get there. And through listening to your comeback story, it is very evident that, you learned, you taught yourself, you went for what you wanted. And it's like, it's no laziness in this. I'm pretty sure that you sought God in a lot of this. Like, I am pretty sure during your time of having to step away from a lot of things, you had to go
That's the only thing I
back to
had.
God.
That's the only thing when I went through this whole financial losing money, making money and all this kind of stuff. I said none of that mattered. I needed God first. I needed to praise him first in the midst of every single thing that I went through so
Yeah.
that I can get to the other side. And now I'm getting back to where I wanted to be. And that's why I like the part when you said this comeback, because my comeback is starting now. I have healed. I am ready to go. I have getting my finances are in order, and all of that stuff is together. I didn't have my last kid. I ain't having no more kids. I didn't got
No,
everything.
that's
I didn't had. I'm ready to get back in these streets and let
yeah.
people know the reason why they say I'm a business credit expert is because I know my stuff.
You know your stuff. and nobody can take it from you at all. Listen, I'm ready to do this. Like you know what I need? I need what I want to do. I feel like finances is a great way. Finances, financial literacy, financial stability is one of the biggest comebacks that we can make. And I need you to be my residential like business expert. Like I need you to just come on randomly. Like you are about to be my business expert. I need you to just come on and take over this platform and be like, look, money tips from Tareka. Like let's just get it. Let's just assign a day where you just come on and you share information, because I am telling you, it is no struggle like a financial struggle. Okay, because when you have a financial struggle, that just affects every area of your life, and that can be so damaging to one's psyche, to one's self-preservation. And I want us to get out of that bondage. I want us to get out of that bondage of feeling like we just have to show up looking a certain way when we don't have a pot to piss in. I need for us to really like I just need for us, if we are getting the bag, I just really want us to have the model of keeping the bag and grandfathering the bag in for somebody else. Like if we have the bag, we have the bag, there's no reason why we can't show somebody else how to get the bag, because it just serves no good purpose if you're the only person with the bag. Like help other people get to this point as well.
I tell people all of that. A win for you is a win for me. My customer will never be your customer. My customer will never be your customer. So it is best that we do this together and strive for greatness. A lot of people say, when you say with the clothing and stuff, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Ricky, you dress so nice. You're always da-da-da. I say, girl, I bought all my clothes from Fashion Nova, and I pair it with a good bag and a good shoe, and that's all I do. And I just know how to wear my stuff as a plus size baddie. So that's all I know. And that's how I just tell people, just be comfortable within yourself, be comfortable with your skin. Yes. Anybody will tell you, if they ask Tareka for, here's my telephone number. I don't even do Instagram. Call me, text me. Do they do it? No, they don't do it. I mean, like, crazy. What? Here's my telephone number. Anybody can tell you. Tareka's gonna give you her number. Text me. If I text you back at 1 o'clock in the morning, that means I rolled over. I seen your text message. We can start talking then. My man already know what's going on, because that's just how I am. I'm in the bed early. I'm up early. So that's who I am. But not to cut you off, I gotta get my daughter from.
Listen, I was just about to say that. And listen, and she's a mommy, and so, and I was gonna just say, and thank you so much for squeezing in time for this interview, because I know you got to run and get your daughter from volleyball practice. So, Tareka, thank you so much. I will definitely leave your information when I repost this on IG. If there's anything that you want to tell the people before you leave, feel free. If you want to drop your social handles or a website, feel free to do that.
Yes, I just want to let everyone know, you can follow me on Facebook. It's at Tareka, Tareka, and it's Coney, Coney, like Coney Island. Or you can follow me here on Instagram as Business Credit Expert. That's with a X. And I just want to leave everybody with this, to be passionate about everything that you do. Just know that people are out here that are willing to help you. One thing that I took away from my ex-husband is a closed mouth don't get fed. Until you ask those right questions, you're going to constantly be, why this person is ahead of me, and further. Keep God first in everything that you do. Pray, manifest your life. Get your journal and write down everything that you want possible, that you want to go on in your life. And you go for it. Go for it. Nobody, no, it's just no. But if you keep on striving for it and you keep on praying for it, I'm telling you, it will happen. I am a walking success story. I have lost it all. They call me I've lost it all and gained it back. Lost it all and gained it back, because I keep God first in everything I do. Pay your tithes. Good night to all of y'all, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm not playing with y'all. I'm telling you, my girl is gonna be back. Like her vibe, like it just felt so good and it felt so right. And I thank you so much, Tareka, for taking the time out with my audience, with me on this Monday evening. So listen, this is going to be reposted, and I need for you guys to make sure when I repost it here on IG, when you see it come on Facebook, and also when you see it on YouTube, specifically on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notifications bell so that you will know when a new episode posts every week on YouTube. And make sure you leave us a comment. That comment needs to be a review. Let us know how you like the interview, what you want to hear more of. Who do you want to see next on the pod? I would love to get them on. And so listen, until next time, remember that now is the time for a dope comeback. You can come back from anything with God, the right resources, knowing how to use those resources effectively, and your willingness to do the needed work. You can come back from anything. And so I would love for you to be a part of my Jazzy crew. All goal diggers are welcome. That's GOAL diggers. And so until next Monday, make sure that you are tuned in. Make sure you are subscribing and following me on all of my social media platforms. You guys have a fantastic Monday. Share this episode with someone that you want to get the bag right along with you. All right. I will see you next Monday.